Well, welcome to Avio's Journey. My name is Anthony, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that this guy seems to step on. It's Valentine's Day week. It is Monday, February 12th. I hope you had a good weekend. How about that game yesterday? Super Bowl was crazy, but I'm glad that you're here today, and I just want to again remind you that our Valentine's Day special for Avio's Journey Elite Academy is up and running. You go to the website, aviosjourney.com, check it out. We're all decked out for Valentine's Day and this week, so make sure you head over there to take a look at everything that we're offering and some awesome discounts to give us a try and to get your voiceover business up and running. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into today. We're talking about time management and the importance of chunking your time, especially if you are a person who is working a job, you've got a family, you've got lots of other responsibilities. Voiceover is not really yet your full-time gig. Even if it's your full-time gig, you need good time management. But today is going to be more about if it's not your full-time gig yet. So many of you might know, right? But my story was, right, when I was working, I started my voiceover business as a side gig, and I worked a full-time job. So I'd get up at 6 a.m. I'd go to work. I'd be there. I'd get home around 5. We'd pick up the kids on the way home, and then they were younger, of course, at the time, and my wife would work. She worked all day, got home around 5 as well, and then we would make dinner, hang out with the kids for a while, put them to bed. Then we'd hang out with each other for an hour or two, and then my wife would go to bed, and then I would stay up from about 10 p.m. to about 2 or 3 in the morning. It wasn't always 3 a.m. that I stayed up. Sometimes it was 2, sometimes it was 4, but I would stay up, to audition and record. And that's when I did the bulk of my business. Now on Saturdays, Saturdays and Sundays, my wife was so amazing because, she'd watch the kids and I'd work. I really have to give, just on a side note, her so much credit because, I had tried I tried a lot of stuff. I think many of us probably have tried a lot of different things in our lives, and to try to be successful at other things, especially if we've been searching for something over time. And it could have been, you might have a lot of kids. You might have a couple of jobs. You might have something, a family member you've got to look after too. It might not just be side gigs you're trying on. There might be other responsibilities that you have that is always just limited you, or you've tried other things. But my wife, has gone through all the crazy things that I've tried throughout our marriage, to make extra money. And, so she was really helpful in that sense because, the weekends, right, or when I had time off, that was just a day I could work. So basically what I did is I chunked my time, all right, in order to make this whole thing work while I was working. I basically decided there was going to be chunks of time that I set aside to do certain tasks. And if I didn't chunk the time, one task would end up overwhelming all of the other things I had to get done, especially early on because I wasn't so good with things. And I will admit, this isn't easy because you're going to want to force yourself to, get it right before you move on to something else. Okay, and what I want to just express to you today is try to look at it more like, a class schedule, or like from bell to bell type of schedule, right? We're going to be working on this from time A to time B. Then we're going to stop, put that down, and we're going to work on this from time B to time C. All right. Do you see what I mean? And it's important to look at your schedule that way. So, for example, maybe you do auditions for an hour or 2 hours every night or once a week, right? And then you record once you get work, for 1 to 2 hours. So maybe you have 2 to 4 hours. You could have way more. You might have a little less. But, let's just say you have 2 hours to work. So you're going to audition, and let's say, so if you're just starting out, you probably don't have a lot of work. Do you know what I'm saying? So all of your time should be spent auditioning, right? Or building samples, demos, etc. If you're just starting, you don't know how to do that, then of course your time needs to go into early on learning how to do those things. Okay, especially if you're right out of the gate, you're like, well, you've got to. And the thing about voiceover too, and to get into time management, just kicker, is that it takes you. First off, it takes time. You've got to get familiar with all of the you can't see all the equipment in front of me, right? But you see the mic, but like the computers, the DAWs, the interfaces, the monitors, the microphones, the cords, the equipment. You got to get used to all of this. You've got to get used to recording. You've got to get used to editing. You've got to get used to mastering. You have to get used to formatting. You've got to get used to all of these things. Then acting, performing, storytelling. So you've got to give yourself time to do that. And that's why I say that, no matter when you start early on, set times that you're going to work on specific things. Like I need to work on my editing, right? So I'm going to record something. So for this hour, I'm going to record something and I'm going to edit, right? And my job is to try to make it sound great and to get faster. Because in this business we are in, speed matters a lot. Okay, the faster and more effective you can do your work, the more you're going to succeed. Okay, because you've got to be able to go from one project to another. You got to pump out stuff. As you can tell, just from the Super Bowl last night, everything that they put together for that Super Bowl, all the planning, all the time, it's over. It's gone. On to the next one. That's the life that we live, right? Time marches on. So you got to look at it that way. We've got to keep producing. So your speed is important. So chunking your time to work on that is important. So I think if you just look at it that way, I'm gonna make sure that I divide my time in a manner in which I have allotted minutes, hours to work on things that I need to do. And even if I'm not perfect at that one thing yet, I still am going to stop and move on to the next thing. Okay, that's why I'm such an advocate for getting started on auditioning, like for ACX, for example, because it's not a really high barrier, and you can get paid to work, to get better at your craft. And a lot of these books, listen, and I know a lot of people say, well, you don't want to start this, you don't want to do this until you're perfect. Well, I don't think we're ever going to be perfect, and I don't think we're ever going to be just ready to go. And this is a varying level for many different people, and also will depend on who you are as a person, right? But I'm just saying that a good rule of thumb is to get yourself out there, get going. At least for me, I know I was always like a procrastinator or a analysis paralysis kind of guy. So being able to push myself forward, even if I stumbled forward, was very helpful. So I recommend chunking your time for your time management so that you work on specific things from this time to this time. You stop, even if you're not perfect at it yet, and go to the next thing. You've got to knock out the most important things, but you've got to work on them on a regular basis. Okay, that's important. All right, I hope this helped. Please leave your comments below about some of the things that you're doing to work on your time management or any questions you might have. Also, we got our special, so make sure you check it out. Super excited to have you hopefully join the Avio's Journey Elite Academy and check out that Valentine's Day special. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Happy Monday. Bye-bye.